how I split a box of bees in less than a minute. Oh no, I got an entire box of brooding bees, both full. What do? I know what I'll do. I'll split them. I got a double screen divider board, and I'll just put this on as they're stinging my hand, with my entrance facing backwards. Ouch. There. Now I'll come back in 7 days, and whichever one has the queen and eggs, I'll move her to a new bottom board with a lid, and I'll leave the one with cells in the same spot it's in. Problem solved. Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Today we're at the yard in town. Try and finish up what we started before that thunderstorm ran me out. Well, folks, that's right. I'm here in town. I want to do a quick look. I got through, I think 3 of them. I didn't look back at the video to see. Bees are working on one end of the yard, but not on this side. When I first got here, they were actually going a little bit harder, especially on that colony right there. And these are just kind of working slow. I see pollen coming in. Hopefully they're out finding nectar. Again, everything is still burned up on this end. There's some wild elderberry coming out. I think mine at home are hitting that. It doesn't yield a lot of nectar. You can see with the white flower there, but it does yield some. But hopefully they're finding some nectar. And I don't know. Everything is supered over here. I came over here just as precautions. I don't think anything swarmed. Still plenty of population. The only one that's not is the one that we were building up. It looks like it should look. I really think everybody out here has turned the corner. I got some pretty good queens out here. That queen over in the far right over here, she's actually got a white dot on her. She's been around a while. She's never really been a swarmer, although she's getting old now, but she was a split. Her colony that I left and requeened with the other queen, they're doing fine. So numbers are looking good. Just want to see how they are doing here because they were far behind. So who knows, we'll check and see. We'll take a quick gander, see what we see inside here. Find out if we have nectar coming in and see if they're growing any. I was happy with the ones at the house. They really seem to be growing. So was happy with that. I was thinking about it today. I was sitting at work. We're kind of slow right now. I was thinking, man, you know what? I'm gonna go out and enjoy the bees. Because what's nice about this yard is when I come over here, I only have, you know, a dozen or less hives here at one time at any given time. It's just a nice, slow, easy day. You can look at them, take your time, enjoy the bees, and then go on home, get cleaned up, grab supper, and just enjoy a nice evening. So I like working bees like this at a nice small pace, or a nice slow pace. All right, I'm gonna get my stuff, I'm gonna get busy. Take a look at the state of affairs on this one. Open it up. There's a tad bit of nectar in that super. I put 1 super on here, just a tad. They're almost opening the bottom as though a queen's gonna lay in here. Let me show you. But any nectar's better than none because down here we've just been seeing nothing. So they're putting it in the top and they're repairing this old comb. Same on this side. So it has to make you wonder, well, are they making the rainbow and gonna give this to the queen? I don't know, because they're not even fully in the second. But they're surrounded by drawn comb. So I'm not seeing eggs in there. She's been known, this queen, to go on up into the supers. She lays a good tall nest. The problem we have is we had drawn comb, which I explained you guys didn't get drawn out because of the nectar flow being messed up. But they're filling these with nectar. If we were to get a heavy flow and they drew these out, I would go ahead and harvest them, replace them with drawn and feed them. But because they didn't get fed up into this box and they were behind, again, we're sitting at what we call about normally April 15th. And what I said in videos prior was I felt like we had a 3 to 4 week dearth. Sure enough, we're 3 to 4 weeks behind on where this sits. This would normally be 3 to 4 weeks ago looking like this, and they would immediately draw these out, but they're not. But they're doing is they're loading this with honey or nectar. So that means there is some nectar coming in. And let's see what she is doing. Okay, we got emerged and full of eggs. And there she is. She's still got the remnant of the white dot on her. See her? and she's loading it with eggs. So again, it's like we're sitting back in time on a normal year of April, say 10th to the 15th. So again, 3 to 4 weeks behind. And sure enough, we're about 3 to 4 weeks on growth. So it's just like that dearth in the spring, which is unheard of here. So there you go. So don't think there's any problems with swarming, but just to give you an idea of what we're looking at. But what I will say is this hive is growing some. She appears to be loading up her brood nest. She's not backfilling at all. I mean, she's backfilling it all with eggs. It's not being backfilled with honey. Honey's going in on the outsides and starting to put some in the super. So it's a 3 to 4 week being behind. Best I can tell you is we don't know if the tallow is going to come in. I've said it 4 million times. You've heard me. So we don't know where we're standing. So I'm kind of okay with where they're at. Just leave them sit there and see what they do, and just really make sure they survive and don't starve out if we don't get a flow. So I'm rolling through and inspecting a little bit. Got to see a lot of eggs in this one here, and this one was one that it was the one we made into one box with Steve here when the new beekeeper, brand new, and he's actually doing really good. His hives are doing good. We're going to go through those this week sometime. So this one was one I wanted to show you what I'm doing. Normally I don't really rock the boxes up this time of year, but since we have this weird flow and we've had people reporting some swarms now and again that came out of nowhere they weren't expecting, I do want to check. But you can see this one exploded, and I had said to myself, you know, I wish I wouldn't even split this one. One thing I do think I did was split a lot later out here. I split a week later than I normally do, but I did that knowing that out here they usually grow so fast it's not a problem. And I remember going, wow, this one's kind of small, but this is one of those very prolific queens that I get out of Mississippi. And you can tell at the last minute they really exploded, because last time I was out here they didn't. So I'm seeing a major growth on this one. Since I'm out here and it's a nice day, I'm going to rock the bottom, see if we see any swarm cells in it, just to be sure. They aren't working up in the super, and they do have 2 supers, drawn supers. I did feel some weight when I picked it up. There might be a frame in there with some nectar, but nothing significant. Let's look underneath. So positive news yesterday, seeing some honey being put away, our capped, and some nectar being put away at home. This is positive news, seeing some decent growth out of this, because this one was just barely getting along. And we'll go through it actually, we'll look since I got time today. But you're gonna see this before I do. I'm gonna rock it up and give them a little smoke first. It's light, so it's probably a lot of brood. All right, here we go. Am I in trouble or not? I don't know, I still haven't looked. I'm letting you guys look first. Not even close. A lot of bees in here. I'm seeing brood on the bottom. No problems with cells, so I'm not even gonna bother. I'm gonna look through here and see what we see. They shouldn't swarm. I mean, this queen is only a year old, and she got a good split on her. She was split down quite hard, so shouldn't have been an issue. And again, normally this time of year, we'd be middle of a early spring flow. I wouldn't be digging through these. I wouldn't be rocking tops, nothing. But I do want to see. She grew so fast. I want to see what she's looking like, and how well she's doing. Let's look. And wow, they're drawing comb on this and everything. This, I'm telling you, what I learned a couple years ago was when you get a really good queen, there's such a difference in a good queen or something that's just not. Look at that. Nobody is doing that right now. They have not been fed. Look, both sides. All right, so we got that frame out. The battery died just like I figured it would. So I want to let you know that this video is brought to you by Kodiak Farms, Lee over in Denham. Because I gotta say, that was a quick battery change, a matter of 60 seconds, because that's the GoPro that he donated to me, and I still am very much appreciative of it. I took a split off this colony and put in a queen from that same person. They got crazy comb drawn up in here. Don't like that. I don't know why that is, but this thing is, oh my goodness, absolutely full of eggs and brood. Crazy comb, I don't like that. Don't know why they're doing that. That's probably because that's an odd frame in there. That's why. Because it ain't because of the foundation. I'm gonna leave it for now because it's pretty contained. But this is full of eggs. Y'all, I love seeing these frames. Y'all know that. You've heard me say that. What a queen this is. She just grew out of nowhere. it's pretty much contained. I don't want to destroy the nest right now and messing with it, so it's just because I got an odd frame in here, probably an old wax frame or something, or old cutout frame. This, where there's no honey, there's brood. So if there's a flow gonna come, these things are ready to rock and roll. They've got drawn comb above them. I'm gonna show you this next frame. I'm gonna show you why I want to start getting my yard onto these queens. I'm gonna show you. Just looking for the queen real quick, but you see that one, and they just made do with it. This is an old wax foundation, so that's why it's all jacked up. They drew it out against the, probably against that before the foundation was drawn. They drew it. I still got some old wax foundation, but this thing went from not doing anything, and she grew with what little bit of flow she's got. So I'm going to show you guys something. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Hope y'all ready. I'm going to go from this side so you can see as I pull it out. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Look at that. That's why I want to keep. Now you think they're not going to have the numbers, and they're putting in nectar in here, which is unusual because they got space, but let me see if they're backfilling the next one. And the supers have been on for a while, so they've had room. Let's see what they're doing. Let me see if they're backfilling this empty. Yes, they are. That's concerning. I don't like that. So we'll come back and check them next week. But all we can do at this point is give them room. This is just a jacked up old frame that they didn't fix. So yeah, I don't like that they're backfilling. As long as the bottom's not being backfilled, we're all right. So I'm gonna leave them alone. They've definitely grown. This is the first one out here I've seen that's actually grown. And I thought, I was disappointed I'd split this one, but now I'm not. The super's got some kind of weight to it. They're putting something up here. If a heavy flow comes, I have no doubt they'll put it up here. But why am I feeling stuff in it? This is just a box, because there's no nectar going in this, and these are good frames. They're not like they're raggedy old frames. I mean, they're inching some up in here, so they know they've got the space. So oh well, all we can do is give them space, see what they do. But I don't think she'll swarm. I haven't had a problem with these Mississippi queens swarming that I can tell, that I can trend, but all right, seeing growth is a good thing. Well, this one's the same way. 2 full boxes of bees. This deepest, well, you can't see them now, it kind of went inside, but every single frame is full, because that thing is full of honey. I never did thin it out. But full of bees, and it's not going in supers yet, but we're seeing growth, so that's a very good thing. I probably need to pull a frame or two out of there and move it over to somebody else, just so I can make some room in there so they know to go up with their honey. So yeah, not going in the supers. Could be due to the fact that that's full of honey, but I'm gonna make sure that they which they still should go up in store, but I'll make sure there's no cells in the bottom of this one. But yeah, we're seeing growth out here finally. Now we just need to see a nectar flow. So just out here getting wrapped up. Been out here about an hour now, and one of the main reasons I wanted to come out here, we didn't get to it the other day. Everybody's fine. This one here was a colony that went queenless for whatever reason. I don't know if I hurt the queen. I don't know what happened. She had emergency cells like 2 weeks after I'd looked at them, which is unusual. I don't know. Timing's just about. The timing was right on the edge of whether I made a mistake or whether she died, or whether I could have injured her and she died later. Nonetheless, I had emergency cells. I had done a combine while they had the emergency cells in there, while they were finishing up. So I went in a week ago and I was going to say, hey, they should, you know, well, really about 10 days ago, I went in and I said, let me look, see if they've got a queen yet, because this happened a while back. And I go in and open, and I'm like, well, the cells look to be torn down. And all of a sudden, I see a virgin queen being balled by a bunch of bees. like hanging on the frame. I see them kind of attacking her, so I put it back together really quick, because what I'm guessing is that's probably maybe that's one of the virgins that emerged that didn't need to be there anymore. Maybe the other one emerged, so I just left them alone at that point. I didn't try and rescue or do anything at that point, because we don't know, they may have had several virgins in there and we're eliminating them. Don't know, but I'm gonna go in and see if they're queen right. Should be by now, I would hope. We'll see. If not, I give them one more week and then we'll combine them somewhere. Just loud, they're getting loud on me. There's no organization. Hold on, I got a little coverage here, but no. Not looking too good. Now they're getting rowdy. I don't think they got a queen. So, well, let's keep looking just in case. Yeah, the way they sound, they're not terribly runny, but they sound terrible. They're organized over here to the right though, so maybe we're not yet. I noticed the bees were over here, so let's take a quick look. Throw a little bit of smoke to them, and that'll tell me. Well, they didn't get super loud when I put the smoke on them. Sometimes you can put a little smoke on them and they'll absolutely roar, roar, roar. Oh, there's a queen right there. So we got a queen. We're gonna leave her alone. Here she comes to the top. So they're loud, but they got a queen in there. I didn't want to go poking around for eggs while she was on that frame. Just want to leave her alone. She looks mated, so we got to leave them alone. So just because it sounds like and looks like don't mean it is like. There's a queen. I didn't go poking through that frame to see if she had any eggs in there, because I just want to leave her alone at this point. Get her back in there. I did notice when I opened it they were all over there. So, and they weren't real runny. They just got loud. But when I puffed them with smoke, they didn't get super loud. And that's like, if they're queenless and you hit them with smoke, I've seen in my experience, they just they get so loud. So let me put it back together. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I've been out here about an hour and a half, goofing around, maybe about 2 hours now. And I went in and stacked another super on there. I went through that last one, full of bees. No signs of swarming. Queens laying eggs. So what am I seeing out in this yard? This yard is baffling me a little bit, but then it's not. This yard had later splits and walkaway splits. I think I put 3 unmated queens, well, 2 in one cell. One cell was behind on this last one, of course you see it. But the others were walkaways. There's a couple that did emergency cells, but now have queens. One that went queenless. And maybe it was that swarm that we saw on that tree, I don't know, but they weren't swarm cells, they were emergency cells in that one. So basically out here I've got no colonies because the splits didn't grow like they normally would, and we went through all that in other videos. And so now what's happening with some of these colonies, there's like 2 of them out here that have peaked out really good, and if we'd had a normal year, we'd be loading boxes. We'd be pulling boxes in a week or 2 and putting more on, getting ready for tallow, but we're not. So we got a lot of bees that are sitting there. Well, we got about 3 hives really that are sitting here that are ready to rock and roll but have no nectar. About 2 others that they are looking like they should be at around April 15th or so, and then the rest are just small, had issues, whatever the case may be. So out here I think we're just growing bees. I did go ahead and throw an excluder and a super on that one as a single because it is full of bees. There's my other, oh, there's my other screen board. I should put a bottom in that. Yeah, that one. But that's about it. It's slow out here. So this yard, not panning out the best, but really this yard is set up for as an overflow and to help him pollinate some of his fruits and gardens that he's got. And of course the bonus is always making honey, but just not panning out. The freeze didn't do us well, but at least we're getting the pollination on whatever he's got growing. You know, that's being accomplished, so that's a good thing. So really that's about it, guys. The season is flat. But we're seeing a little bit of honey back home and seeing nothing in the boxes here. But that's all right. We just keep on raising bees, guys. All right, well, I appreciate y'all's support. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week, and may God bless you. We will see y'all later.